Alrighty guys, we're back for some Night Burn, and this is a March of the Machine, the Aftermath Standard Brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Redcat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to ya. Also, we do get that Discord link down in the description if you're interested in joining that up. Okay, what do we got in the build here? This one's based around Karolus, Stalwart Slayer. This is a 3-mana, 2/3 legendary creature, human, knight. It has flying and haste. If a spell would deal damage to you or another permanent you control, prevent that damage. If a spell would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage +1 instead. Nice. So we got some burn packed in here to work with Rem. Nahiri's Warcrafting is a 3-mana sorcery, deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker or battle, which could be huge in this deck, and we'll see why in a second. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the excess damage dealt this way. You may exile one of those cards, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You may play the exiled card this turn. That bottom ability, it might come in handy, it might not. We're really just looking at big damage that also can hit battles as well with this card. So more burn, we got all 4 lightning strikes. I think this deck is going to know how to get damage to the opponent's face. So just having cards like lightning strike over some utility like a braid or something, it's going to be huge. Also, any target's going to be important because, yeah, we do have battles in here. So play with fire, of course, just an amazing piece of burn. So that's all the burn to work with Rem. Other than that, we just have knights in here to work with Rem, right? Like Marshal of Zhalfir. This is a 2-mana 2/2. Other knights you control get +1/+1. Giving +1/+1 to a 2/3 flyer is not half bad, but if you get another one of these, now you got a pretty dangerous flyer in the sky for only 3 mana, right? So it's got a bottom ability for white and a blue. You can tap it, tap another target creature. It's just not half bad, guys, and it's uncommon. I like it. It's a fun little build around. You know, trying to go Knight Tribal is pretty cool. So we got all 4 Invasion of New Phyrexia. This is an X, a white, and a blue. It's a battle siege. It has 6 defense counters, and when Invasion of New Phyrexia enters the battlefield, create X 2/2 white and blue knight creature tokens with vigilance. I would say you're really looking at this. Obviously, you want to create some form of knights with it, so we're probably looking at this as like a 4-drop, right? White, blue, and 2, and then you get 2/2 white and blue knight creature tokens with vigilance, and then you get that battle over there too. And the battle with 6 defense means you're going to need to plug a lot into this, or have Rem Karolus on the board as you drop a Nahiri's Warcrafting on the Invasion of New Phyrexia, which of course would deal 6 damage total to it, immediately flipping it into the Teferi Akosa of Zhalfir, the legendary planeswalker Teferi, of course, right? So it has 4 loyalty. It's got a +1 here where you draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discarded a creature card. But check out this -2, guys. You get an emblem with knights you control, get +1/+0, and have Ward 1. Oh my goodness, that's the one you usually go for, I would say, right? It's got a -3 here. You tap X untapped creatures you control. When you do, shuffle target non-land permanent and opponent controls with mana value X or less into its owner's library. That could be pretty decent removal as well. So more battles. We do have a single Invasion of Gobakhan. The deck kind of sort of knows how to go wide because we do have 3 Adelines in here as well. Just a very powerful knight, just very powerful card in general, huh? But overall, being able, well, let's read it real quick, right? Because by some miracle, we don't really get to see this one too often, even though it's very good. So it's a 2-mana battle siege with only 3 defense. So we could literally just lightning strike this, or play with fire if you had the Rem on the board, right? So Invasion of Gobakhan. When it enters the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast this way costs 2 more to cast. So generally speaking, what you're trying to get out of the opponent's hand is like a board wipe or something else fancy like that, right? Or something that'll lock down your board state. Now when it flips into Light Shield Array. It's an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature that attacked this turn. Then you have this ability where you can sacrifice Light Shield Array. Creatures you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. You know, I'm just like reading through this and wondering why I only have one of them in here. And I guess the truth of the matter is it's very hard to squeeze cards into a deck. You know what I mean? So we might want more of these. Maybe we'll talk more about that in the final thoughts, right? So what are some other knights we have in here then? I talked about Adeline, but I didn't talk about the Kessig Wolfrider. This is a 1 mana, 1/2 human knight. It has Menace, which isn't half bad, and then it has an ability here that we're probably not going to do too often, but I should read it. It's 2 and a red. You can tap it, exile 3 cards from your graveyard, create a 3/2 red wolf creature token. It's just like, you know, it's not bad. It's a 1 mana knight, and that's pretty much what we need it in here for. And Menace is not bad at all, especially if you're buffing this with the Marshal too. And then if there's like a moment where you don't want to swing with the Marshal, you can use that Marshal ability at the bottom to tap another target creature and just make the Menace even more menacing at that point, right? Because you're limiting what blocks your opponent has all around. So that could be pretty cool, man. More knights here on the top end. We have Knight-Errant of Eos. I don't know how often you're actually going to miss with this ability, but it's a 5 mana 4/4. It has Convoke, so our creatures can help us cast it. And when it enters the battlefield, you look at the top 6 cards of your library, and then you can reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value X or less from among them, where X is the number of creatures that convoked Knight-Errant of Eos. Put the revealed cards into your hand, then shuffle. So we have so much burn packed in here that I don't know how often we're going to miss. Hopefully not too often. And also the battles, you can't pick up battles with this. Generally speaking, you want this to be in more of a creature-focused deck, but since it's a knight, I feel like squeezing all 4 of them in here is still going to be worth it. More knights. We have Tori, Fury Rider. It's a 4 mana 3/3 Vigilance Trample. It's a legendary creature. And when Tori attacks, all other attacking creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Other red attacking creatures you control gain trample until end of turn, and you untap each other white attacking creature you control. It's going to be interesting to see if this card does anything in here. We'll see, right? We also have a new one from Aftermath here. It's the new Narset, Enlightened Exile. So it's a 4 mana 3/4 legendary creature, human monk. Creatures you control have prowess. Okay, oh my, all right? Especially if you're going wide with like Invasion of New Phyrexia. Whenever Narset attacks, exile target non-creature, non-land card with mana value less than Narset's power from a graveyard and copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. So non-creature, non-land, so all of our burn. All of it. Yeah. Again, same with the Tori. I'm interested to see how often these one-ofs actually come in handy. If you got the Rem on the board and you're casting a free lightning strike off the Narset and giving your prowess creatures just massive buffs because of that free cast and everything, I don't know, man. You're wrapping up the game pretty fast at that point. The mana base I thought about for a good while. We're going for just a couple pain lands here, and everything else is relatively slow. We got all the coasts, we got all the passes. We do have a little bit of fast land with the Seachrome Coast. I don't think the mana base is going to hold us up too often, but we'll see, right? It's still a 3-color deck, and a lot of things are pretty greedy in here, so I don't know. It's mainly like Boros colors with the splash of blue, though. So I do have a Crucible, a Seat of the Empire, and then split between mountains and plains. No Soaring City this time because, like I said, we're really just splashing that blue all around, right? A card to consider if you're really being held up by the mana base, I suppose the Battlefield Forge, but the opponents are really plugging damage through nowadays, guys, and these pain lands have been literally ending the game for me. So there have been many times where the pain lands hold us up. Not this time around. Sunrise Cavalier could have been a really cool addition. It's a human knight, and it's a powerful human knight, but couldn't really find room when I wanted all 3 of the Rems. So yeah, Invasion of New Phyrexia could have been a cool addition too, but not this time around. I wanted it to be a little less janky than the last time we played Knights, and it's still probably going to be a little janky, but I don't know. We got a lot packed in here that could do a lot of different things, a lot of powerful things. So All right, guys. Enough rambling, huh? Let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. So, what am I expecting from the build? I'm expecting a thing here and there. I mean, I know, guys, I know. I keep saying it. We can't expect too much because Standard's power level is just ridiculous. It seems like everything is like ultra competitive. So like when you put together a list like this, it feels like you shouldn't expect too much. So the slow land holding up our turn 1, but that's fine. That's completely fine. But I'll tell you what, the last time we played with Invasion of New Phyrexia, it was ridiculously powerful, so this is holding up our turn 2 now as well. The slow land's holding us up a little bit. And I say we go for a turn 2 Marshal over the turn 1 Wolfrider. If we go turn 1 Wolfrider, then we have a chance of seeing an untapped mana, but I don't think so. I don't think it's happening. Not for the Marshal, at least, so. Oh, well, there's the untapped blue stars. I mean, hey, sometimes the games like to prove us wrong. Marshal not doing too much here, man. Swift Spear could easily take it out. I mean, any amount of burn from mono red could just completely devastate us. We're pretty far behind here, too. If we go for, like, a turn 3 invasion, then it's just another 2/2 on the board. So, oh boy, mono red is going to run away with this one. I feel it. They still have 2 mana open, too, so. Yeah, it could have easily been a second Bloodthirsty Adversary. Yeah, that's a lot of land, guys. So if we go for Invasion for a 2/2, it's better than a Wolfrider, I guess, because the Wolfrider is just going to block. But getting multiple 2/2s next turn would be much better. I guess we just have a turn of blocking. This is a lot of land, guys. This is way too much land. We needed to see like another one of our 2-drops or something. 4 damage to our face. We should chump, right? We should chump at least one of them. Because they full swing our face for sure. Yeah, skip the invasion. We chump. We take 2 down to 6. And next turn, oh, Knight, nice. Knight-Errant of Eos. A 3/3 blocks well, but it immediately gets picked up by a Lightning Strike. But at that point, they probably just want to Lightning Strike our face and try to finish it with burn, too. So a couple creatures off of the invasion, but we could try to survive one more turn and get 3 2/2s, huh? Maybe. All right, let's give it a shot. I think it was going to be an uphill battle regardless here. We could have seen more of our early game stuff. The land slowed us down a little bit, which is definitely something to consider. But let's be real. If we played these, if we had more pain lands, then this would have just been even worse overall. Oh, second invasion ends the game. GG, opponent. Yep, so we can block like Swift Spear here. And then we're going to take 2 regardless. GG, buddy. Well, let's see if we can go ahead and try to get a better match in. Overall, we did not do too much there. So if we would have made a couple 2/2s, we would have been able to block the adversary. We would have been able to chump the Swift Spear. We would have been able to kill the Swift Spear, and we still would have been down to 2, so they still would have had a mountain open too. So yeah, I don't think, even if we would have gone the invasion, I don't think that was going to be ours. Yeah, too slow of a beginning for sure. And also not seeing any of our burn. We do have 11 pieces of burn packed in here. That little bit of extra removal could have gone a long way. Lightning Strike when we had the 2 mana open to take care of their 2/3 Swift Spear. That actually, well, I mean, we'd still be in that game, huh? So opponent goes first, and that's a lot of land, man. Now I'm sweating about the land, but I don't think we drop any. Not yet, not yet. It's too soon. It's a slow hand, but like I don't I don't think it's a mulligan necessarily. Start with the Seachrome Coast. Reckless Impulse, huh? Wow. Wow, and they see a couple land off the top. Well, guess Seachrome Coast, right? This is a lot of land, dude. I mean, I guess the opponent's getting a lot of land too, which is good news. Chandra, okay. Okay, so it's probably just more of the basic mono red, but yeah, they had a pretty slow start, luckily. Very lucky for us. Swing at the Chandra, but I think we set up with the Adeline. Adeline is like really hard for mono red to deal with sometimes, so we'll see. More land, guys. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we're flooding, bro. Good news, they don't have mana for a lightning strike. Oh, yes, they do. Chandra. Adeline's out of here, man. Reckless Impulse. It wasn't a lightning strike. And it wasn't a land. Let's go. Oh, now's our time, guys. So if we go Rem, it has haste. Full swing at Chandra. That kills it. Because we get a 1-1. We play Wolfrider for the turn and set up with Narset, right? Get the 1-1, that's 5, and we're going to swing 1-1 to face. Chandra's gone. Okay. Now we're talking, guys. Now we're talking. I guess I'm a little bit afraid of like a double end the festivity. That would be brutal. But if a spell would deal damage to you or another permanent, yeah, they have to kill the Rem first. It was a double end, but it only gets rid of the Rem, so power up Foundry. I mean, I'll let the Foundry through take care of that etching. I think the etching, well, Foundry probably would have been good, get rid of a land, but yeah. I think either way, that was fine. Creatures we control have prowess. We play it before combat because it boosts the Adeline. Opponent needs a lot here, man. They need to see another end the festivity off the top, first of all. And then they would need to double down to take care of the Narset and the Adeline. Yay, I think we're gonna get some revenge against mono red here. This is still way too much land, man. What's going on? What's going on? I'm gonna double check something real quick in the deck list, so give me 1 second here. We're gonna take this journey together. We're gonna load through. We should have 24. We should have 24, but yeah, anything over 24. Yeah, we have 24. Okay. I just wanted to double check. Like those first 2 games, we were seeing a lot of land, so there was a possibility that the past version of me put 25 in there for the invasion, and I feel like that would not have been the best thing to do. Although you do want to see a good portion of land for invasion. You know, the more 2/2s you get, the better, but alright, not a bad hand. Not a bad one. We'll have Play with Fire on turn 1 if we really need it. We have a turn 4 invasion. I promise we have 2 mana cards in here. I promise. Alright, yep, we're going to keep the Play with Fire open. Did they go down to 5? Yeah, they have 6 cards in hand now, so... Skrelv, yeah, no. We're going to take that out. There's a reason we played Mountain over the Seachrome. Well, can't play the Marshal because of how the mana lined up here, so that's a shame. The Marshal's the main reason we opted for the fast land with white and blue. And right now, you know, playing 3 colors, there's going to be a lot of matches like this. Generous Visitor, huh? Okay. I think it's just going to be Adeline. Adeline just ridiculously powerful. What else do we even want to consider there? Like, the Rem right now doesn't seem like the right play. Rem is like, because it has haste, it's better as like a surprise. Even like a turn 5 surprise when you actually have burn in hand too. Ossification. Okay, swing for 2. And I suppose... Okay, here he's Warcrafting. It's not bad. I suppose we just go Invasion for 2. We're going to be taking some damage next turn, but then when the Marshal finally hits... If we go Warcrafting, hit Naturalist, we don't have an open red, and all of our 1-mana cards are red. I think it's Invasion for 2. Because we get to buff these Knights next turn, and hopefully, like... Hopefully what ends up happening... Well, it depends. Because they could swing, we could take the damage, and then we end up swinging at the invasion with one of our things, and then wrapping it up with the Warcrafting, and immediately get the emblem. So they're not going to swing, actually. So we go 1, 2, 3. We full swing at the invasion. And then if they let it hit, which I don't think they do, we go... If they let it hit, these have Vigilance, so the Knight could come down here. I don't think they do. I think they trade with the Naturalist. Because getting the Teferi would be huge for us. It would be so good, guys. It'd be too good. So a Naturalist trade is very likely. And then we're getting it down to 3, luckily. I still think that was worth it, though. Because there's, I guess there is that possibility where they let this go through and then the Knight-Errant of Eos comes down on the same turn. Oh, they're going to chump. We might still be able to do the Knight-Errant. Nope, they are going to trade. Okay, okay. So that ends up being the turn then. But I think that's fine. Getting the Naturalist off the board is pretty huge for us, man. Naturalist number 2. Okay, okay. So the Visitor can trade well. Now. Visitor gets over where it needs to be, and I think they save it as a blocker. No, they go. See, they flip. As lifelink indestructible as long as you control at least 3 other enchantments. 1, 2, 3. Well, I don't even know where to begin with that. We double block, it takes 1, and we lose everything on this board state. I guess we just let it hit, man. We don't want to lose our board, do we? I don't think so. Rem can come down, swing at the invasion. We can go -2, get the ward and everything. This is a big problem, though. Lifelink and indestructible. That's not bad. Seeing mana here isn't bad at all. 1, 2, 3. Nope, nope. Crap. We're just 1 mana short. Pretty much every turn here. It still might be Rem, though. It still might be... Shuffle target non-land permanent and opponent controls with mana value X or less into its owner's library. Only have X's too. I think we buff our Knights. I think we go for this, man. Like, we could go the Knight-Errant this turn, but I think we just go for this. And we flip it. Because Teferi's great, and going right into -2, we're probably not taking anything to our face here. Like, drawing isn't too bad either. We could potentially get more Knights, but if we just get the emblem now, that's permanent, dude. Like, we just have Ward 1, and everything has the plus as well. We can always tap that down on their turn as well, so I'll put a stop on their main phase just in case. Yeah, everything else in hand, just kind of like, we're kind of like a turn behind here. Like, the mana's really just not matching up most of the time. Let's see where they end up plugging the extra damage from the Reign of Truth. What a great draw, opponent. Gonna spread it up. They're gonna draw a card here. That's brutal. That's brutal, man. Okay, we should tap down Visitor, right? Let them get their lifelink if that's what they want. Everything has ward here, so... Tap down the Visitor. Resolve. Alright. If they swing, we should take out the Naturalist. They're gonna full swing here. They want the Teferi gone. They don't want anything extra going. If we can successfully... Okay, it's 3 other enchantments, right? So, Reign of Truth, Audacity, and Ossification. So if we trade here, that still dies, but their Naturalist is gone. I think that trade is worthwhile, right? Right? I don't know, man. If we see land off the top, we're probably in some serious trouble.
I'm out of time.
We need a way to get rid of the Visitor, and maybe Teferi was the best way. Ooh, Invasion. Oh, buddy. Hey, do emblems stack? Maybe it's just Warcrafting on Visitor. They draw off of Audacity, but then this loses. Then we'll have 4 open. Nah, it's Invasion. We're going greedy with it, man. All 3. Let's do this. You can go Knight-Errant here, but we're just gonna flip. We're gonna flip the Invasion. Dude, I have no idea if emblems stack. I have no clue. Really? GG opponent. Wow. I mean, we were wide enough there overall, I suppose. Even though this had Indestructible, they still had a lot of damage to deal total. If they didn't have removal in hand, they could have potentially found it, though. But yeah, flipping the Teferi. The Teferi, what would we have done? So if the emblem stacked, I would have said just do -2 again, but I guess we would have tried it just to see if it would have worked. You guys will have to let me know in the comments, do emblems actually stack? I have no idea. Other than that, drawing wouldn't have been bad, and honestly, we did have enough to get rid of a lot of their creatures with the -3 too, so maybe that would have been the play. Because what we could have done there, well, that wouldn't have been that good though. Tapping our creatures for that. It probably would have just been emblem and seen what happened. So, yeah, GG opponent. Wow. So far, while I was going over the deck, I mentioned that I don't think the mana base is going to hold us up that much, and it really is holding us up quite often. We got a lot of greedy things in here. After turn 3, then the mana's fine, but as of right now, it's really been holding us up in the early game, so... We'll see if that stays true, right? We're really looking at that Marshal where it's not coming down as a 2-drop by any means, and we're going to try this too. We're going to try this hand. We'll have Lightning Strike open next turn, or just play the other Wolfrider, so... Seachrome, nice. Nice, that's good. That's good, because we'll have the turn 3 Marshal then. Which means we play Wolfrider over the Lightning Strike, make sure our Knight board is nice and stocked, and then get this ready. So maybe just more dual lands, maybe. I guess I could see that, right? This is pretty aggressive overall. We have the Rem, too. If they don't wipe the board or something fancy, like, this is pretty good, man. I kind of wish this Lightning Strike was a play with fire instead. Just so that way we could do that off the Rem next turn. Let's ditch the land, right? Yes. Yes, we don't want that. We don't want it, we don't need it. I was thinking about saving the land in hand. Because if they play another Invasion of Amonkhet, we could have discarded that and saved the Lightning Strike to help us wrap up this game. But I think playing the land is just better. It is going to be another Invasion of Amonkhet, so we do end up losing the Lightning Strike, and they need to see a cut down, at least. No, even a cut down wouldn't... Yeah, a cut down would have saved them. So they would have played a Swamp and cut down the Marshal. And then, yeah, and then we would have needed that Lightning Strike in hand. So that's really something to consider, guys. I thought about not playing the land, but I ended up playing it in case we saw an invasion. Because the more land on the board, the better if we see the invasion. But even then keeping that in hand could have been a good bet because, yeah, they were playing Invasion of Amonkhet, so... Alright, GG opponent. Didn't look like they actually found their 4th mana, or if they did, they didn't find the removal that they needed, like the cut down, so... Carplusian Forest, that must be the 20 gems over there. Not bad so far, guys. Like, I feel like we're probably getting a little lucky in some of these games, but yeah, it hasn't been too bad. That game, again, showcased how, like, the mana in the first couple turns we're kind of sweating a little bit. So, all right, we're gonna give it a shot, man. We're doing this. We don't need to have anything open the first 2, but we'll probably keep Play with Fire open for early removal, like getting rid of Skrelv, for example. Oh, Marshal. Yeah, the Marshal. Alright, Play with Fire open over setting up for a potential turn 2 Marshal. And it would just be potential because, yeah, we would need to see untapped land. So, yeah, Play with Fire over that's much better. After we get over the initial hurdle, we're going to hit Skrelv. Skrelv's a good target regardless, and if they end up using protection for Skrelv, it's not bad. Tamiyo's safekeeping, sure, because we could go Play with Fire before they untap their green source now. And that was 2 Play with Fires for 1 Skrelv, but technically a Tamiyo safekeeping out of their hand too. I think I'd rather waste more of their Tamiyo safekeepings over the Skrelv. I kind of like that. Because, yeah, they could swing, we go Play with Fire, they maybe have another piece of protection. Nope, not this time. Well, that works too, right? It was 2 cards for 2 cards. Bloated Contaminator. So Nahiri's Warcrafting obviously hits Contaminator, and they didn't have protection in hand. I think I like this over the Rem for the turn. No, I actually don't. We're going to let them get a swing. We have a lot of 1 mana red cards, and we're going to have 4 mana on the board next turn because we have Crucible. There's a chance of seeing one of our 1 mana wolves, our Wolf Riders, sorry, or our 4th Play with Fire, honestly. So, oh, Annex Sentry. Now we have a tough decision, man. Do we hit the Contaminator or the Sentry? Sentry gets Rem back, but do we want the Rem back is the question. If we get Rem back, then a Lightning Strike off the top can hit Contaminator. If we hit Contaminator, dang, dude, gave us a tough decision. All right, let's see. Let's see what ends up happening. Stormcarved Coast. Crap. I played a land already, guys. Why did I do that? I always do that. Well, don't worry. For the rest of the video, I won't do that. So, Play with Fire hits for 3 now. We're not going to be blocking with the Rem. Yeah, you'd want to go the cards that let you see more off the top first, and then if you see a land from that, then you play one of the lands. Nothing to hit. We're gonna actually go Play with Fire to the opponent's face then. I think we can outpace this if we see a little bit more off the top. Actually, Invasion would be really good. I apologize, guys. Overall, I could have played this one out much, much better. Like, sure, our deck was holding us up, I guess, a little bit, but not really. Like, we had a lot more options to consider. Marshal, 1, 2, 3. If I play Crucible, we could tap down this board, go Knight-Errant, which blocks Contaminator really well, and it doesn't get picked up by an Annex Sentry. So, whoop. I was thinking about, like, Crucible for 3 and get a couple 1/1s, but we still were 1 mana short then. Because we would have had... Ooh, let's go. We see a Wolf Rider and a Marshal. Dude, the Marshal's really good. Dude, Knight-Errant restocking our hand here. And just blocking incredibly well. They'd want to go Sentry on the Marshal first. Ooh. Okay. A second Singer. Be awful for us because it gets the Contaminator. Oh, okay. It's going to be a 5/5. Well, we definitely block. Got lifelink too. Because of the Corrupted on the Skrells. They found another piece of protection. Dang, they must have drawn that recently. Well, the good news is we're not taking more poison or proliferate here, so that's the good news. Oh, buddy. We are in trouble. We only got one white source, so Adeline's not coming down. That's not good. That's not good. Adeline could have been huge here for us. This is going to be a 5/5. Are we going to be able to outpace this lifelink? No. We have to save everything as blockers. Maybe I should have kept the Marshal's ability open. All I know is this Adeline needs to hit this board state, guys. That's all I know. Rot Priest. Oh no, we're in trouble. Oh, I could have played this out so much better. Oh no. Seed Core, get that up to a 3/2. Share, it's going to be a 4/3 once it swings. So I would just full swing, but I'm crazy, so I understand that the opponent is thinking this out, like what's the best swings here. I would just spam that full swing button, but it might be detrimental overall. So if we end up, so they take out Rem. So we end up double blocking Bloated Contaminator, taking the Might damage, keep the Marshals on the board. Take out Rem, we'll have the Wolfrider. We see a white source, Adeline's still just huge for us. If we go Wolfrider on the ground, nope, we keep the Marshals because we have a chance of seeing a lot of things that generate Knights for us. An Invasion is the best case scenario off the top, get 3 Knights. The double block on the I'm sorry guys, struggling with words right now. The double block on the Contaminator is the best bet for us because we can't have them proliferate every single turn. Okay, second white source for the Adeline, taking an extra damage. Doesn't matter too much because they're really just looking for poison anyways. And then we won't have the white source open for the Marshal of Zhalfir. Oh, man. We also have this ability too, which we can do on their turn after we block with it. So that's good news. There's a lot off the top that they could see. That could probably just wrap up the game, huh? They're also starting to go wide enough where a full swing just makes way too much sense. Because we're at 6, they have, this one doesn't have, okay, nice. So we have to also go wide here. And we'll grab the creatures too, I guess, right, is a better bet. So we get a 3/2. Okay, we could swing with Adeline, we get a 1/1 swinging through. I don't know. These can't block over here, guys, so they might take the damage from the Adeline. Yeah, the best bet is seeing Invasion off the top, man. Another Marshal. Oh my. Hey, let's go, dude. Now that we're like clogging up this board state, their best bet would be the Rot Priest to end it, right? We have the Wolfrider's ability open. We swing with this Adeline for sure. The human dies, but I mean, there's not much they can do against this Adeline unless they find something super fancy. We gotta start getting that damage through. Oh, they're going for the block. Oh, okay, they wanted to get more lifelink, that makes sense. And then they get another 1/1 that can't block. And they didn't block the 1/1 with, like, their Rot Priest, which they could have successfully done. Okay. down to 32. Like, these are getting scary, man. These are getting very scary. Another crawling chorus. Okay. Creature you control becomes the target of a spell. Target opponent gets a poison counter. Tap another target creature. Never another... I mean, how are they going to attack without losing a lot here? You know what I mean? So I think they don't, and they're just trying to get wide enough or find something with the Rot Priest. Because we have enough on this board, and I'm going to go for the Wolfrider ability again. Even though we're getting rid of the rest of our instants and sorceries in the grave, it's much, much better just to go wide here. It's just, yeah, it's much, much better. Okay, Plains off the top is not terrific, guys. It really, really isn't. So we swing with Adeline. I'm trying to think about like what they could have in the next couple turns that could help them wrap this up. We needed to see something that wasn't land, that's for sure. Gonna go Crawling Chorus, get the chump again, get another 1/1. We have 1, 2, 3. Oh, they are gonna block the 1/1 this time. Okay. So I could have tapped down the Crawling Chorus, but that would have just let us get a little more damage through, and realistically, I'm just going to keep this in hand too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they have 6 here and another 2 there. So it's 8 to 8, and we we have 6 poison. Okay, Bloated Contaminator, that's good for them. That's good. At least it's nothing that works with the Rot Priest right now. But yeah, if they swing into this, they're losing a lot. Come on. No, we need something that's not a land. Oh, man. Because now they are wide enough. The good news is we can still swing with Adeline. And maybe start getting some damage past this lifelink, too. This is funny, guys. Like, we're pretty locked down here. We can go Marshal tap Contaminator, make sure that doesn't get through. But if they swing with Contaminator, like we block with our Adeline, we have a lot of great blockers, man. So I don't think we want to tap down anything. I don't think, at least. Oh, no. Oh no. That buffs all of these. Okay, well, let's see what they end up doing. The second Slaughter Singer might be huge for them. We really need to see something that's not a land off the top. They go for the full swing. Let's go ahead, resolve all this, right? Okay. So this needs to not be protection in their hand too. We need to take out that Contaminator, man. We really, really need to take out that Contaminator. The 3/3 here, we take that out like that. We go like this. We go like this, right? No. That, take out the Rot Priest. That, and Chump. Is that correct? 8 blockers. It depends what they have in hand, I suppose. It doesn't look like they had anything in hand. Oh! We were still low enough. We didn't have enough because they buffed it so much with the Singer. I was so focused on the poison that, yeah, we were still at 6 life. Like, we survived the poison, but we didn't survive the life. Ah, GG opponent. Ah, man, I feel like that could have gone a lot of different ways. I really, really do, right? We saw land 2 turns in a row there. That was a lot of extra land, too, so I don't know, man. I feel like that could have gone a lot of different ways, and I could have played it out better earlier. Ah, if I would have, I bet that would have been ours, guys. I bet that was my fault, just from the earlier plays. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied, man. There's some power packed in here, and it's like I've been saying, it's still going to be janky against the current meta, just standard being ridiculous overall, but overall, I'm satisfied. And if you're concerned about the mana, yeah, more dual land, I guess. In the honorable mentions, we had the Pain land for Boros. I guess. I suppose maybe 2 of them, maybe 3. If you go all 4, you're going to be struggling against some of those mono red decks for real. Like, they plug damage in so fast, and then you're on your turn 3 and you're like, huh, do I take 2 damage just to play my 1 card that they're going to burn next turn anyways? And then that's exactly what happens. You take 2, you play your Rem, they go Lightning Strike. And then they, you know, swing in for victory on turn 4 or whatever. So the Pain land has been very detrimental for me recently. That's why I didn't have too much in here to begin with. But the mana base is so ridiculously greedy anyways, until you get to like that turn 3. Then, generally speaking, this is fine, because then every Sundown Pass and Stormcarved Coast is coming out untapped, which happens to be very powerful. You know, having that early Seachrome Coast, maybe we could have just gotten luckier with the mana base, but no, I don't think so. I think it's still going to be a struggle because, you know, we're running 3 colors and sometimes it's tough to do that. So I'd drop a mountain, drop a plains, go up the Boris Painland. I guess that would be fine. Yeah, if you see too many Painlands though, it's going to be really rough against some of those aggro decks. Like Soldiers obviously knows how to plug a ridiculous amount of damage in early on too. So Invasion of New Phyrexia is just like one of those cards that once you get to that mid game, you're like, man, Invasion of New Phyrexia off the top, that would be sweet. And then pretty much no matter what game you're in, you're going to be thinking the same thing. Well, you get to that middle of the game, you have 4 or 5 mana and you're like, hey, this card would be amazing. And that, yeah, I wouldn't drop any of these. I think all 4 is going to be excellent. If you see too many of them early on, then I guess that's bad, but I don't think you want to drop them. And again, we're kind of considering it like a 4-drop, kind of, sort of. That's probably its home, you know, X is 2. Knight-Errant was awesome. Rem was pretty cool. I love having all the burn just packed in here with our little Knight Tribal deck. It's really cool. I think overall it's really neat. I just don't know how much it's actually going to do against the meta, but it's fun. So that counts for something, right? So, all right, guys. Hey, if you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions for real. Let me know what you would add or take out down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.